Action's about to get underway in about 5 minutes. We'll start with the Highclere Thoroughbred Racing EBF Maiden Filly Stakes. First of 8 races at Newbury. Numbers 4 and 11 don't go. William Buick takes over from Eddie Ahern on number 2 City Dazzler. Tickle Pink has been very heavily backed and is 15-8 on. It was a real positive on the exchanges. 5 Lady Gorgeous and 4 are 14-1. Shannon Spree 20-1, and they just get bigger and bigger, all the others. There's only one horse wanted. It's Tickle Pink.
8-15, Tickle Pink, after her racecourse debut last time when she was second. Sir Henry Cecil trains her. She's an invincible spirit filly, and Tom Queally has the ride. What did you make of her?
I think she's got a great chance. She shaped really well when second to a horse called Rusiliana. That winner went on to be runner-up in the Cherry Hinton. The form looks pretty good. She's a taking type. She's really strong. And all things being equal, she sets a definite standard. And I happened to see her work on Tuesday, just by pure luck. And it wasn't serious work, but she worked really well. She's certainly very calm in behind horses. She wasn't anything odd about her. And I got the impression that Henry Cecil quite liked her. So all things being equal, I can see why she's a short price. You can always meet a good newcomer, but she sets a pretty good standard.
Well, she met a good newcomer last time in Rusiliana, exactly. That's for certain, who ran so well in the Cherry Hinton. And so Tickle Pink is now seeking to go one better with that positive experience under her belt, and she's flicking her tail around, but then it is a warm day. It's that kind of bothersome day, isn't it?
It is. It probably flies, I would imagine. She was fine in the paddock. She was perfectly calm. I was saying she was pretty calm when I saw her during the week.
Right, a horse that was also second on her racecourse debut is Lady Gorgeous, who's a Compton Place filly. Mick Shannon trains her, and Hugh Bowman is riding.
Yeah, again, a good start, 9-2. Promising second over this course and distance at the end of the month. The fourth went on to run a similar race next time without particularly improving on it. As an individual, quite athletic, not the strongest, but quite attractive. And, fine. You'd think that she'd normally, most of Mick Shannon would benefit slightly from the run. I would imagine she'd be the same.
And there she is, 9-2 shot in the colours of Jabba Abdullah for Mick Shannon. So if we move on to Amphora, we can talk about one of the newcomers in the Highclere Thoroughbred breeding colours, the blue with the darker blue detail, and she's making her racecourse debut, this Oasis Dream filly, for Andrew Balding. Jimmy Fortune is riding.
Yeah, she's one of about 3 newcomers who I particularly like. She's nice. She's lengthy, attractive, has done work. I think the run will help her slightly, but she's, you'd have her as fairly straight, and she's got, she's definitely got a fair bit of scope. And she's by Oasis Dream, out of a 7 furlong winner. You'd imagine 6 furlongs for a debut is perfect. As I say, she's quite taking. She's got scope.
And how about Shannon Spree? Did you see any encouragement in her racecourse debut 7th? She runs here for Richard Hannon and Richard Hughes.
Not especially. She beat just 2 home behind better fancied stable companion. That was at Salisbury. I didn't think she did run with any obvious promise. This ground might suit her more, being by a royal applause. A sound of service might help. And so that would be your main aim, and she may have learned something from the debut, but she just ran with limited promise, I think.
Her stable companion is also higher in the market than most newcomers, and Ryan Moore rides her Richard Hannon here. That's Idle's Eye. Did she catch your eye?
Quite fit, nervous, or you saw her as well.
But that was the fractious one.
Yeah, that was edgy and sort of on toes. Not a bad type. Again, fit, definitely. By Red Ransom out of a day who stayed pretty well. There's plenty of stamina in the family. I mean, in time, you would imagine she's going to want further, and you wouldn't have been that surprised she started over further. I quite like the other Richard Hannon newcomer, one of the other ones, called City Dazzler as a horse. Thought she was a strong, nice type. In fact, very nice type, actually, a half-sister to a horse called Wake Up Maggie. You might remember a decent horse with Chris Wall a couple of years ago.
Yes, remember there's a jockey change there. William Buick replacing Eddie Ahern on number 2 City Dazzler. We understand that Eddie Ahern has had a prang on the way to the racecourse. Tina Spirit has got a lot of experience, more than most, in that she's raced a couple of times, and again she's the market is generally tending to prefer experience, and that she's more towards the fore than many of the newcomers.
He didn't prang a Volvo. He's not having much luck in Sweden at the moment, is he? So that would be a
you're becoming a little accident prone.
Just a bit. Tina Spirit, I thought similar form, fairly modest really. Salisbury and Kempton. Certainly the level of her form is nothing like as good as Tickle Pink or Lady Gorgeous, and she's had 2 goes at it, so she's got that valuable edge, but that's all. I want to mention one more newcomer if I may, called Tamima, a Brian Meehan horse, who, like a lot of Brian Meehan horses, you think She's done work, but I think she'll benefit from it. But she's got some strength about her. She walks well. She's athletic, and again, she's out of a mile winner. Dubai destination, good sire. I just liked her the way she went about herself in the paddock.
Anything else of the newcomers that you want to mention?
I could mention a few. Manabar, who looks the first strings on jockey bookings. Leggy, close couple, quite fit, was the description I made of that. By Jarzil, out of a Group 3 winner. Again, nicely bred. I guess that's okay. And one of Sylvester Kerr, she's got more than one. But Ice Missile was nice. That's, again, for the future. That was tall and quite lengthy, and certainly some scope.
OK, not many more to go forward. Tickle Pink is a strong favourite at 8 to 15. Lady Gorgeous 4 to 1. It's 16 to 1 bar those two. It is now time to introduce our commentator this afternoon at Newbury. It's a warm welcome to John Hunt.
Thank you, Lydia. Steve, everybody at home, I hope you're well. Let's make the most of this weather if the forecast anything to go by this weekend. Surprised Tickle Pink's quite as short as she is. Tickle Pink, stall 3, will probably be the last one in here. And she's gone forward fine. And they're off and racing. And Tickle Pink away adequately over on the far side. Lady Gorgeous broke out of the traps really well. Amphora's right there as well, and so too is Refreshes the Parts, and also Shannon Spree coming right the way through to be amongst the early pace setters. Tina Spirit settles down into stride, very handy as well. So through the first quarter of a mile, it's probably just the overall leader now. Gifted Dancer, who's now come to the front. Gifted Dancer with Refreshes the Parts in second place, and Tina Spirit close up in third. Lady Gorgeous and Tickle Pink just in behind those. Ice Missile travelling nicely, so too Dance Company. Slightly in behind these, losing a position or two, is Shannon Spree, who's now under the squeeze. Also Amphora just being pushed along. At the back, Tamima's making heavy weather of this. Manbar's plugging on from the rear end of the field, but still got plenty to pass from there as they now come down towards the final furlong and a half. Tickle Pink right over on the far side, making her challenge with Lady Gorgeous. In behind those, Tina Spirit, and then comes Dance Company plugging on in company with Gifted Dancer. It's Lady Gorgeous just at the moment proving too strong for Tickle Pink. Lady Gorgeous, second here a fortnight ago, goes one better. She's done it nicely. Beats Tickle Pink fair and square. Dance Company in a tight thing for third place with Tina Spirit.
Lady Gorgeous has won. Both the first and second were second and showed promise on their racecourse debuts, but Lady Gorgeous is the one that has gone one better at 4 to 1 for Hugh Bowman and Mick Shannon. Second is Tickled Pink for Tom Queally and Sir Henry Cecil. Just hearing whether the judge is going to call the third. It was close in the end between the fast-finishing newcomer Dance Company, who was indeed third, for William Knight and Jim Crowley, and fourth was number 18, Tina's Spirit, for Kieran O'Neill and Richard Hannon. So the winner is Lady Gorgeous, and she's beaten the short price favourites in John Hunt's observation just before they went into the stalls. The final horses that the favourite was a bit too short for his liking were borne out.
Yeah, got slightly into inconvenience at the very least by Refresh the Parts when that horse edged left about a furlong 3/4 out, which didn't do her any favours, but not enough to make a difference of a length and a half or whatever the winning distance was. So she was beaten on merit. Had it been very close, I would have said she was very slightly unfortunate. But basically the first two drew clear. They both run with promise on their debut. They both run well, and Lady Gorgeous, perfectly fair debut herself, got just the better of them. Best of the newcomer was Dance Company, a William Knight horse who made some good ground late on. He's again from quite a speedy family. She's from quite a speedy family. She's done her best work. I think she was sort of mid-div early on. She was that far away, but she stayed on nicely. And the other horse with experience, Tina Spirit, I think gives you an idea to the level of the form, which I think is all right without being exceptional.
Yes, the market wasn't that keen on the newcomers, and largely they were proved right in terms of today anyway. Dance Company doing best of those in third. Looking at some of the other newcomers on the extreme left-hand side, that was City Dazzler in similar-ish colours to the first colours of Sheikh Hamdan. Amateur Manbar as well, who was quickly beaten. Prominent with the white face early on was Amphora, and she's just not had any answer when the others have moved on. No,
I think Ice Missile ran with a bit of promise. Wasn't that the horse in the Jeff Smith colours? That's run pretty well for a while, weak and late on. But basically, the first 5 was some way clear, and the race was dominated by experience. And say, you can't really argue with the result. The winner was the strongest in the final furlong. Knew her job, prominent throughout, and got the job done pretty well.
here we see it from the start. You might be able to hone in on your interference that you feel that Tickle Pink sort of...
Well, just slightly. I definitely did when I think it's Refresh the Parts, starts to weaken and goes left. But I mean, we're talking about not much. It just pushed her further out than was ideal. But she soon came back on and challenged Lady Gorgeous and had her chance. It just wasn't absolutely ideal. I'd say just below the 2 probably. The horse who's leading now, Refresh the Parts, when she tires, she edges slightly to her left. But I'm not making too much of it.
She's the one in the green and red colours, Refresh the Parts, and she's just ahead and to the right, as Tom Creeley would see it, of Tickle Pink, who's on the outside, and towards the right as we look head on. Yeah,
I mean, the winner is just on inside that and gets always travelling well, gets a nice run through, makes a headway now. And I thought the other just forces the horse further out. I mean, it's minor stuff. We're not talking about, much. Just suddenly she was slightly away from the action. But she soon got back. She was upsides and she had her chance. And had she got beat a nose or a head, I might have said that was, that's made a difference. It's hard you can't argue that it's made a difference of a length and a quarter. It's just something. Weakened very quickly, actually, didn't it, Refresh the Parts?
I thought there was some encouragement which she possibly wasn't fully able to show from Tamima, because just as she was beginning to get the hang of things, she found horses weakening back onto her. She didn't really have room to find her stride, and although she hasn't made a lot of impact in the race, I feel that she could probably have made a bit more than she ultimately did, if you see what I mean, had things rubbed her way.
I watched her now. The one that caught my eye, it was like the one with the black hat, second on the right, and I thought the white colours inside at Idle's Eye, the one who was very nervous and edgy beforehand and is stoutly bred, that does do some headway in the closing stages. So maybe that's a couple which will improve a bit for the run, which they can do.
Maybe we can take a quick look at the closing stages head on again, just to see Tamima. I don't want to overstate it. It's just that I feel that she might have finished a little bit closer had she had some breaks in the closing stages as other horses were weakening. She's towards the rear in the second colours of Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum.
It's behind the Highclere horse, the Amphora, who is one of the weakeners, and obviously the horse in green, who we've already mentioned, who weakens quickly. They just follow her run through. So she's quite a nice, attractive type. And,
yes, you liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think she's I preferred her of the two Hamdan horses. She's certainly not been given anything more than a hands and heels ride, has she? Switched again there, slightly interfered with. Yeah, just hands and heels and nice and drunk, staying on a bit late. You take just behind Idle's Eye, who's also run with some promise. I mean, they're beaten a long way. And
it's nothing to get over.
No, but there is a glimmer of ability, definitely.
Okay, but more than a glimmer from Lady Gorgeous. She's won our first race, the Highclere Thoroughbred Racing EBF Maiden Filly Stakes, for Hugh Bowman, Mick Shannon and Jabir Abdullah.
4-1 and well back just before the off. Lady Gorgeous for Hugh Bowman. Tickle Pink the 15-8 favourite second. Dance Company third 40-1. Non-runners 4 and 11. 16 round. Quick look at the time, 1:12.95. It's a second and 3/4 outside standard.